Hey, WokeNFree Nation. Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
We are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 299th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week we're asking the question, should you start a business with your partner? Whether that be your spouse, your significant other, your boo, anything in between. So before we dive deep into that conversation, a couple of things first to go over. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com not only to listen to this episode, thank you, but also to download it through the Podbean app? If not, please do that immediately, because with the app, you can put on your comments, and y'all know you have things to say and things that you feel about this topic. So we want to hear it all, but you got to put it through the app. So definitely do that. Now, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you can't, say, for instance, get another app on there, like the Podbean app, then that's a little bit sad. But the alternative then is to support the show by going to WokeNFree.com and then going on the Listen tab to click to follow and subscribe to where you see WokeNFree at. So we are on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world where most podcasts are consumed. You'll find this show. So make sure you do that on WokeNFree.com. You can click to subscribe to follow the show through the Podbean app as well, so make sure you do that. And on social, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, we'd love for you to review the show and tell us how the show is feeding into your life. So best way to do that is to go to WokeNFree.com, go to the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to review the show. And thank you in advance for the 5-star reviews. Kicking it to you, Khalil.
And before we start the conversation, we'd like to share a little bit about ourselves. This week, we are asking, would you rather have a squeeze of lime or lemon?
More pointlessness for the day. Fabulous. So I would have to say, because we are approaching summer, I like a little bit of lime in my water and stuff like that. I feel like it adds a little fun flavor, so I guess I would have to go with lime there.
Because you...
Seasonally.
Oh, okay. So you do lime for this season?
For the summer, yeah.
But lemon for a different season?
For non-summer periods, yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, to me, it only makes sense to put lemon in your water. But I guess if you're... And now I think of the question more deeply, I guess it depends what drink you're having, too. But
that's true.
If you're having water, I would put lemon in my water every time. I don't care about the season.
Okay.
I mean, I think lime is better for, like, certain, like, sweeter drinks is what I think when I think of lime. Anything with sugar in it, lime helps kind of top it off. And lemon, I mean, lemonade you can have in a... Well, if you have it in a sweet drink, I think a lemonade at that point. But lime, I think, it's a nice little topper.
So, but only for sweet drinks.
Yeah, but only for sweet drinks. So always lemon in my water.
Okay,
good. That's regardless of season, and you know you got to decide depending on the season. Is the season right for you to start a business with your partner? Is that how you should decide on things based upon seasons, or should it just be? It should be regardless of seasons, right?
I mean, yeah, you would be a very fickle partner if if we're doing things based on just the seasons.
Because sometimes seasons bring you to certain moods, right? So I guess that's
true.
That's how you feel about getting the lime in your drink of choice.
I'm sure I'm not the only one in that regard,
yeah, that's true. People might change it based on seasons.
I think so. It's just, I don't know, for sometimes I think when you eat or drink things, like right now I'm on a cereal binge, and I find that like in the summertime I like to eat more cereal sometimes just because it's an easier meal, and it's not that we would do that for our child. Children have to have well-balanced meals, but once you're grown, you can do what you want. And sometimes I find that it's just fun to have, like, you know, sometimes fruit as your meal, or like, I don't know, just a lighter type of dish. But I only feel that way when it comes around the summertime. But to answer your question around starting a business with your partner, no, I generally don't think that that's a decision you should make that's seasonally dependent.
Oh, okay.
I would say
that's good to know.
The following, my answer is that I would say it depends if you should get into business with your significant other on the following. How much trust is shared in that relationship is going to dictate whether that would be a good business relationship. Also, how much ability is there to criticize or critique or even have heated conversations with your significant other. If your relationship doesn't really lend well for them, then that would be difficult to be in business with that person, because when you're in business, you are going to have critical, challenging conversations. So your relationship needs to be able to withstand that rather. Yeah. And how comfortable are you with navigating confrontation with your partner? Similarly, if you aren't in your love relationship, then that would not lend well for business relationship. Also, how comfortable are you with spending more time with each other? We saw with COVID, right? More couples were really strained by having to spend more time together. You would think the opposite would happen, but
I wouldn't think that. Okay.
Sometimes, I mean, in theory, you would say, "Oh, like you're in love, you should want to spend more time together." But in reality, yeah, I don't know if that's really true. It doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like no, like people need their space and their distance, and whenever you then say, no, like let's spend 12 hours together today, that might be challenging on your relationship.
But remember, COVID was kind of like forced time together. It wasn't a decision that they didn't get to really talk about and say, hey, let's do this. It's more that's like, true. You're stuck together. What do you do now?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, and that's why I think that's kind of like a disaster waiting to happen. If you're forced to do something and you both don't even know what you're going to do, compared to like if you both came to a decision, hey, let's try this. Then at least you both have a common goal and you agreed upon it.
Yeah, that's true. Also, how comfortable are you in your relationship where you have more time together, but it's not more couple time, but it's more business time, or trying to accomplish things together? That if your relationship doesn't lend well for not being so lovey-dovey and all that, and kind of getting down to business, then that would be challenging to get into business with your significant other if you can only really just be like a couple together. And then I think that there are a series of more questions you could ask yourself, but I guess last one would be how comfortable are you also seeing your partner in a new light? When you get into business with a person, you see that person in a whole new light. You see their deficiencies more. You also see their strengths more. You also see new things about this person. So as long as you can and are willing to go through that journey with this person, then, and they vice versa are willing to do it with you, because just because you're willing to do something doesn't mean your partner is. Making sure that you're both on the same page, or all partner, because again, we live in a world where people have a multitude of different relationships going on. But as long as all partners involved in this relationship can kind of answer these questions and navigate the answer and be on the same page, then yes. But if
all couples have to have this, I mean, now you're putting a lot more stress on it.
No, I'm saying all partners.
Partners.
Couple. Yeah, I'm saying if I don't know what type of relationship, I can only speak from. I'm asking, ideally, I'm asking the question from the bias of a traditional monogamous relationship, but that's not the only type of relationships people have. What if people are in a multi-part, there's a lot of different stuff going on there. That's what I'm saying. Then you need to figure out how everyone is integrating within your love relationship, and then then looking at the impact on the business,
Oh,
that
okay.
perspective. But it's a little bit easier, I think, to answer if it's just 1 versus 1, but it may be a little bit also harder if it's 1 versus 5, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I see that. So for me, my answer it doesn't matter what type of relationship you're with or how many people you're with, because my answer is that you should always start a business with your partner.
Oh, wow.
I think I don't care what type of relationship you have. I think you can do it because there's different type of businesses you can do.
That's true.
You're not locked down to say, well, you only can do a business that takes 30 hours a week for us to work on. It could be something as simple as, you could write a book or start a blog together, right? That you hosted under a LLC or something. It doesn't have to be something that's just so time and consuming. Yeah, time consuming. So that's why I think everybody should do it. I don't think there's an issue with it. And
only because of the different types of businesses that are available.
Just because there's something that you can find that
can work for your relationship.
That you both can do, and there's even businesses you can do where you don't have to discuss it, 24/7.
It's more like it's
right. It's a passive kind of thing. Like
gotcha.
once you get your LLC started and going,
if they want to go down that route,
or whatever the type of formation you want. Yeah, I mean it's up to you, but I just think it's good and it works for those relationships where you have a lot of people too, because then. Now everybody has kind of like a common grounding point, so I think it's just I think it's a good idea actually. Even though you might not work well together, you can actually learn how to work well together. So I think
you want to, though.
What if you want to? What
if you want to learn how to work well together? Some people don't have that interest.
Oh yeah, well if you don't, then if you start this business together, I don't know. I think it's gonna it's gonna kind of blend towards you wanting to work better together as you do it. And then I think an issue that could come up in a lot of people's mind is if one of the partners not good with finances. I think that's when the other partner can take over and be the controlling partner in the business. If that's an LLC, they can be the 51% owner, so they can get the final decisions. But
gotcha.
If there's ways to work around kind of like issues that your partner might have.
Yeah.
We should go into, I guess, now the pros and cons of getting into business with your partner. Since I just mentioned a con, you can
absolutely
take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So pros, trust. When you get into business with your significant other, then there is going to be added trust in your relationship because you're going to have to rely on each other to do more and different things. And your business will only thrive as much as you trust each other and as much energy as you both put into this, or all parties put into this. Shared vision, similar to what you're saying, if you have the inclination to get into business together, then you most likely have the inclination to want to have a commonality with your partner. And so you're going to have a similar goal or some type of shared vision that you're working towards to get things done. You can leverage complementary skills. So similar to what you're saying, if someone is good at finance, then maybe, they may manage the books. Maybe someone else is good at website management. Maybe they deal with that, things like that. And then emotional support is a pro for doing business with your significant other, because businesses can be super stressful. And instead of carrying all that weight of stress on your own, then you can divide and conquer amongst all parties involved, trying to be as inclusive as possible when thinking through my answer.
Oh, really?
And, well, like I said, we live in a really exciting time in life where there's just so many ways to go about doing things, and things are, I think, more open and different than, say, when we were younger. So I'm just trying to think
a whole new world.
It is a whole new world. If I was Ariel, I could sing it for y'all.
But that's not her song.
Or no.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, who's it?
Jasmine
and Aladdin. Confusing my Disney poor soul. Now some cons, in addition to what you mentioned earlier. And we talked about this already as, again, relationship strain. Even though, yes, there are strengths that's going to develop from being in business with your significant other, it is going to also cause strain because there's a new way to exist and orient with each other. And it's just going to be learning curve for that. And then also thinking through your businesses some businesses may not cause that much of a strain. Some may cause more of a strain. So it's also going to be business dependent and depends on like also how much each person has to flex for the business. So it's a lot of different dependencies there. What if you and your partner don't have the same vision for the business? That could be a con for starting something together. If you both aren't on the same page and you're constantly in conflict, then that's going to negatively affect your business as well as your relationship. Of course, financial risk, and you bear that if you start a business on your own or with a partner. At the end of the day, there's a lot of small businesses that close up in the first year, 5 years. So, that is... You
can limit your risk, though. It depends on the business you start and how much money you put in, and
absolutely.
So...
Yeah, if you plan ahead and you're very clear on what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish, then the financial risk doesn't have to be that extreme, but it is nonetheless a con potentially. And then lack of boundaries. So when you start to blur the lines between work and play, it can be a little bit challenging to navigate for some reason. That's why some people are challenged by like working from home, because now there's no separation between work and home life because it's all blended in together. Yeah. So you have to be even more clear around boundaries of like what you're willing to do and when you want to work and how you want to work. You have to just get more clear and more adamant and advocate for yourself. And in this circumstance, you'd have to advocate on behalf of yourself as well as, in sharing that with your partner of like, no, I'm not interested in doing this. Or can you help me with this? Like, again, just more clarity.
All right. Yeah. There's definitely some stings. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to continue with the cons.
Okay.
It'll be nice to end with pros.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
To me, it's automatic. I know you were touching on it, but I think you're just going to have more arguments when you start a business together. It's just going to happen. I mean, there's no way that you're going to agree on everything and see eye to eye for every single business decision. So just be prepared for more arguments, even if you're most likely already having some arguments in your relationship, but it's going to increase. Yeah. The next thing is, you kind of mentioned lack of boundaries, and I just think of it as your business and your pleasure time is going to cross over. Hey. So you might be relaxing, but then your partner brings up business, and then you become stressed again. So that's definitely a possibility of happening, that you get that crossover, and you're like, I thought I didn't have to think about this. Work stuff right now, right? You can consider it work stuff. Mm-hmm. And the next thing is like a con. You might not be able to decide the actual business you want to start together, so that can be a hard hill to get over if you like.
Just getting started.
Somebody might want to do the ice cream shop, and somebody might want to start the whipped cream shop. But
you're so crazy.
Which one's gonna win? Can we do a compromise and have a milkshake shop? I don't know.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's kind of the issues that you come into. What kind of business are you going to start if you both won't compromise?
Yeah.
Next thing is that you can both, it's a financial risk like you mentioned, but I'm thinking you both can lose money together. I don't know.
There's solidarity. Is that your sick pro related?
No, that's a con, because when you both lose money, you're like, you look at each other like, was this even a good idea? We're losing money.
Oh, see, I totally thought you were going to say, is this your fault? Like, you know how people do the blame game situation, and then
you could do that,
and not having accountability for your both, like you said, both parties or all parties involved.
Yeah, and this works for both or multiple. Yeah, this is what happens. And now for the good stuff, when you start a business together, there's a common ground for discussion. You always have something in common. It's always something that bonds you together. It's like, we both have this business together, even if, because like couples can grow apart over time. But when you have this business, that's something that could keep your relationship,
at the bare minimum, point. You have that.
Yeah. And actually, a pro is that you're able to mix business and pleasure, so you can go back and forth as you please. Like, all right, we're talking about business,
challenging sentence,
but now we're now we're pleasuring. Yeah.
That's such a challenging sentence for me.
Because you think of it as so different. I mean, I could use the word leisure. You can leisure together.
I would prefer that term.
You both can leisure together.
But by pleasure and
pleasure.
That's such a challenging sentence.
Partners have pleasures.
I bet they do.
They do. So it's fun when you can mix that, though.
I bet.
It's because it's hard to do it in like just a general work sense. But if you both are the CEOs of this business, you get to you decide how it runs.
Someone is the CEO, and someone else is something else.
You can't double CEO depending what type of business.
That's an ineffective business organization, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I mean, they're starting this. It's up to them if they want to do that.
That's
two head honchos. Yeah. Or what if one person's a CEO during the day and one CEO at night?
Or how about one CEO and one COO, right? Or one.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I'm just. I don't want to limit people. Though. I just want people to think outside the box, right? I don't know.
But
they want
to do efficiency, por favor.
You want to do efficient? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't want that necessarily, but they can if they want to.
Well, yeah, you need more stuff to laugh at. So.
You're so wrong to say that.
I'm so honest to say that. Yeah,
I'm just giving people the options.
You're like, please create more messes so that I can read your mess.
Because imagine we find out about that company. It does the best in the whole.
Please put in the comments if you are running a business and both partners are CEO.
Yeah, one's during day and one's at night.
Exactly.
You take time off, or one does it during the summer, one does it during the spring.
Oh, now we're back to seasonality. Now we've come full circle.
Yeah, you just switch on and off, or you switch titles every month. You know, sometimes you're the COO.
Convenient.
And you change your bylaws weekly.
Yep, exactly.
You can do anything you want. It's a business.
Great messaging. Yep.
I'm just giving the options. And another thing is, now remember I mentioned you could lose money together, but you can make money together.
Facts.
Because that's really fun. You both get the dollar signs in your eyes, and you can throw like cash at each other and have fun. You can bathe in the money.
What is this, a music video?
It's just, this is the fun. This is why I say everybody needs to go in business with their partner, because they can throw the money at each other and say, look how much money we're making.
This is a rap video.
We're just making money hand over fist. I don't know. The business worked out. Yeah, the money just it worked out.
And they're making this in crypto too. Yep. Get that dog going.
Remember, that's a soft spot for people. So
I know that it
could be for our listeners.
Part,
you got to be careful. People went all in on that. So. Careful.
You live and you learn, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like going to Vegas and you spend all the money you've made for the year.
Hopefully things will turn around there, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Crypto is crypto. Mm-hmm. And the last pro is, it's a learning opportunity in general. It's time you both can learn during this, and you can learn so much too. You can do research on how to effectively run your business. And you can just learn kind of like tricks of the trade, or learn more about competitors. It's just, in general, I think education's good. So this kind of forces that upon you.
Good. And then with that, being that we are in our relationship as well as partners in our own businesses, what advice would you say to those who are partners or significant others who are interested in getting into business with each other?
My advice is to first find out what your partner likes to do. Try to find out their interests. Because I think if you start a business, you should try to start it in something that you're both interested in, and not just something where you say, all right, this is going to make money, so I want to do it.
Let's do that.
Because I don't think you're going to stick with it.
Don't chase the money, chase the passion.
Yeah. Especially because this is your choice now. This is not your...
It's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, this is not how... I mean, it could fund your life, but either way, you should...
Not initially, at least.
Yeah, either way, you need to start off doing something you like. This is the ground. This is the ground here. So don't
starting ground.
Yeah. So just make a good choice there, and knowing what your partner likes will help. The next thing is that you got to actually find out if your partner wants to go into business together. Because what if they say, I'm not doing it no matter what? They make a hard stop, and this is not something to be discussed. Just know where they stand, know if they might be interested in it, if it's something that needs to be broached, or you have to make a report and then hand that into them and do like a presentation something. Because maybe you have to do that to convince them. I don't know. Just see what you have to do to even start this thing. And the next thing is that you need to figure out your own skill sets if you haven't done that already, because you want to know, like you were mentioning before, what is somebody's wheelhouse, like who can do this besides who can do that. So figure out your strengths. You don't have to figure out your partner's strength right now, but at least know your strength. And then the last thing I would recommend is that should make sure you both have the bandwidth to run the business and to accomplish your expected task for the business. Because if you're already overloaded, maybe you're going to wait till next year before starting this endeavor, because it is going to take more time.
To shift priorities, possibly.
So just definitely watch that out. You don't want to burn out before you even got the business rolling.
Yeah. Okay. Those are great tips. I would add to that by saying, you should be open-minded. Business is hard. Relationships are hard. There's going to now then be changes because you're changing the landscape of your relationship. So you need to be open-minded to those changes that you're going to willingly bring on, for the good changes and the bad changes. And then also be open-minded for how your relationship changes. And that can be hard because every relationship has different seasons and different ups and peaks and valleys and lows. So just be open-minded for the journey. Also, you should try to be approaching business with a solution-oriented mind space, meaning you're going to embark upon, oh my gosh, this isn't working. Oh my gosh, how does this work? How do we do this? So instead of being in a space of I don't know, but be in a more space of how do we fix this? And divide and conquer. If there's two of you minimum, then there are at least two brains that could put toward energy towards different things. You don't have to work on the same solution together at the same time. Divide and conquer and be as efficient as possible. Also,
efficiency. Yeah,
efficiency is critical, especially when you're trying to do this and say you have children, right? Because that's like another added complexity. And it's a good one because if you can actually get a business that is sustainable, that is earning you money, that is a positive add in your life, imagine the wonderful modeling you're going to demonstrate to your children. So you want it to make it work, but it takes even more effort if you have that additional complication in your life. Also, you got to speak up about your feelings. Sometimes that can be challenging depending upon who you are, because you don't want to keep that bottle down, because again, your partner is your partner outside of this business. So, depending upon how you approach emotions with your relationship, you're adding another strain and complication on this relationship. So now you don't even have the time or energy to waste hiding your feelings or hiding resentment and things like that. Release all of that.
You shouldn't hide that because it's a business and business doesn't have time for the emotions.
But it's not about that. It's about the fact that now your relationship has to carry more weight, right? The weight of this business. So now to be able to hold that weight, you need more grounding. And that means you need truth as the only safe ground to stand on. So you need to be truthful about how you're feeling, truthful about what you're going through and how you want to approach it together. Also be willing to try to see things from multiple perspectives. I think the biggest problem most people face in a relationship is they're too me-centric. And it makes sense. You only are in your mind, so you only know your mind. But you don't know the minds of others until someone opens up a door and shares with you. So try to ask questions when people are in conflict with you, especially your partner. You want to try to understand, why are they not seeing eye to eye with you on this? What exactly are the driving forces for why they're saying or doing what they're doing that's in contrast to what you want or what you need? And try to come from it from that perspective.
Okay.
This is for all the overthinkers like myself. Don't try to control everything. We can't keep trying to control everything, especially when we're in business or with our partners or significant others, because it's just impossible. It's going to really drive you up the wall for no apparent reason. People are going to do business. People are going to be in relationships differently than how, say, you would dictate it. So try to, again, come from the space of why is someone doing what they're doing, so that empathy can help provide more context and hopefully reduce the anxiety or stress that is caused by whatever's happening due to this business. Set clear deadlines. Make sure everyone has an understanding of why we're doing what we're doing, what is due, and there's no funny business. That we have clarity at every stage of the way and step of the way. Be agile. Your business itself is going to have to also be agile, as we've seen with COVID, as we see with things in our society. Things change, and that may or may not impact your business. So you've got to always be able to be agile with each other and for the business itself. please celebrate your victories along the way. I know is a lot.
You try to, but it's like you're giving tips for their relationship, though. Too.
I know, and well, that's the kicker about this is that we're talking about being in a business relationship with your partner, which ultimately impacts how you have a relationship with each other. That's the true essence here. But yeah, celebrate your victories because there's going to be a lot of obstacles, and it feels good to try to have a win as much as possible. And as Khalil noted, that goes both ways, personally and within your business. And then you talked about strengths already, so I don't have to tap into that. But try not to, and this is a hard one, especially for fellow Virgos out there, try not to attack your partner because of a mistake that happens, because I know depending upon the level of excellency that you hold for yourself may be different than what your partner is aiming for in life. But we really want to just attack this problems, not each other, because it's just going to tear down your ultimate sustainability of your relationship. Because it's easy to be like, call the person a name kind of thing. But
you're a funny pants.
There you go. Yeah. So that's not the terms that would come out of my mouth.
Oh, really?
I would be much harsher.
That seemed extreme to me.
That seems like
I would
clown.
feel down.
It's like you're telling me I'm a blue clown for the.
But that'd make me feel a little bit blue, right?
Oh, I guess it would for you. Yeah, I don't know. I have harsher terms in my mind.
Oh, right. That's not harsh to you. Okay.
But yeah, it may be. But either way, let's not call each other names, right? Let's just be like, hey, I want to have a conversation because I'm really frustrated about X, Y, Z, and be very pointed around what exactly are your frustrations, not throwing frustration at your partner. It's not going to solve anything. It's just going to make you guys both upset or make all parties upset.
And remember, sometimes the biggest discoveries are made out of mistakes.
So there you go.
That's think a great that the point. Mistake is
That's a great point.
The mistake might actually be good for the business, right? You don't know. Don't get so upset about it.
That's such a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. And then also keep dating your partner, especially more now than ever. You are, again, putting more weight on the relationship by starting this business. So you need to dedicate time to making sure that romance, that fire, that passion keeps burning. Otherwise, you're going to see your love become a lot more transactional. And this partner of yours is going to be less of a romantic partner and more of a business partner. And then your romance kind of goes away. And then that's challenging, right? Because now if you have no relationship and you just have a business, is that really what you both or all parties set out to do? Probably not. So keep that in mind. And then have fun. Just try to have fun. It's a lot that's going to be going on, but try to enjoy the process.
Yeah, I agree with that. You definitely should try to have fun with the business. Mm-hmm. That's part of the fun of starting a business with your partner.
Yeah.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's a scenario? It is scenario time. Scenario 1. Oniyoha is married to a senator who is gearing up for her re-election. She feels they should start a video conferencing service where they make sure your video camera is set up properly for home office work. Do you think it makes sense to start this business with her spouse during her re-election campaign?
Oh, what an interesting scenario, because fortunately I'm not aware of the fictional state that this senator lives in. And,
fictional state that you assume,
yeah,
okay.
And then also I'm not aware of campaigning laws and regulations around folks who are senators, and are they allowed to moonlight? I'm not aware.
Yeah, because senators can have a business, and then they become, like, often business people become senators, right?
I guess maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm personally I'm not familiar with the laws or regulations around that. So yes, in essence, if you can be a senator and start a business, and there's no issue. I think
there's issues in terms of like contracting and stuff. That's where you can get that. There's certain issues with that, but just that you have the business doesn't mean you can't become a senator.
Okay.
And even if there was a law, then that comes after being elected, right? It's not like during the campaign is like, you got to shut down your business. To a campaign. I mean, you have to at least be the senator.
So as long as it's because you wouldn't want to start something if you couldn't do it if the person became a senator, right? Again, like that would be challenging. But so re-election campaigns are really hard and really challenging. Is that the best time to start a new business? Probably not, just because your bandwidth is so limited already, just because you're so consumed. consumed with the campaign, but we don't know in this scenario how much support they have and how much resources they have. So maybe they have the ability to have hired help or support, and if that's the case, then it is doable. But without that information, then I would not recommend moving forward.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't need any information there. Okay. I think this is a terrible time to start a business together. I mean, unless you don't want your partner to not be real. I mean, if you're trying to stop them from being reelected, then this is a great idea. But otherwise,
I think it would be a bad idea.
The timing just seems off to me. I don't need any information here. Just wait. It's not, the campaign doesn't last for 5 years, right? It's not that long. Just
so
wait the few months or however long the
campaign and election is.
Yeah, if it's a year or so, then fine. But you can wait a little bit, right? It's not your business it's not that quintessential that it has to be started now. So just wait is what I would recommend. Scenario 2. Yahia is an audacious man who has started and closed many businesses in his life on planet Earth. He has been with his partner for 12 years when he decided to ask her to go into business together. Do you think his partner should go into business with him, knowing he has closed the platitude of businesses in his lifetime?
I'm very confused by this question.
What's confusing?
I mean, is the reference to planet Earth just to be fun, or is there some type of, other thing that we should be considering here?
Well, it's the consideration is that one of his businesses may have been traveling to Mars, and he closed that business.
Okay.
So that's a consideration.
So when you say that he's closed many businesses, meaning they've all failed? Is that what you're referring to? Okay, not that he sold them or.
Oh no, they was not for profit. He just shuttered the business.
Okay, they've all just failed. Yeah. Okay. But I'm sure there were a lot of good lessons learned along the way.
He learned how to shut down a business,
Gotcha.
He learned what forms he needed to file.
Gotcha.
He became a pro at that.
Okay. I mean, I would say, and then also your language around how they've been partners together for 12 years, and now he's broaching the subject seems very odd to me.
He just decided that maybe you want to get in on this.
You're the new sucker. I mean, your new target is your wife. I mean.
That's messed up to say that.
Foolish.
Why would you say it's a sucker? No, he did 12. He's like, I might as well try this because it never worked.
This is the last sucker on Earth.
Or is it that, or is it maybe I should have got her buy-in because then maybe it would have worked out.
So maybe for the last 12 years I've been making fatal mistakes.
Yeah, because you never got the buy-in of your partner.
I mean, it depends. So it would depend on the nature of their relationship, how much they can withhold, the stress and potential failure of another failed business. But if the wife has an interest and they have a shared common vision on what this potential new business could be, then maybe. But based on this information, I would say probably she is not going to be interested and is going to be quite perturbed by the question or the query that's raised towards her. And so she might say thank you and goodbye. And
no. This might have been the one, though. This was the one idea. This
might be the straw that breaks their marriage back.
He was making a ring competitor, possibly. This might have been it. What if this was it? I mean,
she also could look at him and just shake her head in disbelief of are you serious right now?
Because what if he had a new company that tries to take people to Jupiter? I mean, we don't know. It could be anything,
on this planet Earth.
Well, now, from planet Earth to Jupiter. Okay. I mean, that'd be funny if he started a business that says, "I'll take you from Mars to Jupiter," and we're not even
in Mars.
Yeah, he could try that too. I mean, some people might. You got to figure. He's like a futurist. What if he's
doing your favorite?
He's a futurist,
selling names to stars.
Oh, even better.
To planets.
Even worse, to moons that revolve around planets. So the moon's around Jupiter.
So one person gets to name it and pays for that.
Yeah, but no, multiple people can name it because he.
So they get a piece of the pie. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's selling real estate of the moons that revolve around the planet.
That must be illegal.
No, it's not. You can do that. That's not illegal. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can start the site now. You want to get your plot of land of,
but you can't.
Of Titan.
Oh man,
Titan's a planet. A moon of Jupiter. And you can sell the little pieces of it. So first we need to find out the information about Titan, how big it is. And now we can auction up real estate.
And then just put
we're just going to give you your digital certificate and you could take that.
Not even a printed one too.
You can print it yourself.
You print it yourself.
But if you pay extra, we'll send you a special star that you can slap on that.
That sounds like something that she really would want to get behind too. Yeah, no, the hard pass for her, I think. Yeah.
But I mean, so you think she shouldn't? I mean, the question is, do you think she shouldn't? Not what she's actually
I think
do.
She should absolutely not. Yeah.
Oh wow, you actually do say that.
To me, it seems too challenging.
You're judging a man based off his past.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is the fact that he has not included her in his business decisions or journey for the last 12 years, to me, seems indicative that he has no interest. And so this is like a last-ditch effort for another failed endeavor.
It's not that he just made a mistake and finally...
I don't know. Again, I would need more... I struggle with this scenario.
So maybe that's why.
I would need more
Without
information.
enough information.
It seems like he's just trying to look for another sucker. And so I don't think your wife should be that.
Not a sucker. Because I didn't say she's got to even buy in financial. I didn't say any of that, right? I didn't say...
Exactly, but it's not clear. So
yeah, we don't know for sure. Okay.
But there's too many unknowns. I think it's thank you and goodbye is the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, so this question's hard for me because... Yeah, to me, it's blatantly obvious that she shouldn't go into business with him because of his past. But then it's so wrong to judge people at that because they might have turned a new leaf. And imagine
this could be the new business that does work.
You messed them up and it was like, wait.
But again, everything that's meant to be will be. And so if this business is meant to be a success, his wife joining or not joining is not going to prevent that.
Yeah, you know what I would say? I'd say in this case... Don't judge his past. Actually, look at his business plan on this one. So, depending on his business plan, you may actually be able to say yes to. She might actually be able to do it, but just from the generality of it, I would say don't do it unless you can. You see that business plan and it looks like this is something that he's going to stick with and not just close it down like he's done in the past. Okay. So don't just shut him down because of his failed. Just because of his past history. I don't think that's right.
Yep.
Scenario 3. Jamel has a husband who always brings up the points of failure for starting something new. He says it's better to know your risk than be surprised by negative outcomes. Do you think Jamel should work on convincing her husband to go into business together?
No, I think she should work on convincing her husband to seek couples therapy and counseling, potentially. It sounds like there's...
Some people are into that, though, on trying to calculate the risk.
Of life?
To calculate all the risks that you can...
Is he an actuarius?
He's the exact term that you said. Those words together.
I know, I combined two different things there.
You hit the nail on the head. You got it perfect.
A realist and an actuary.
Exactly.
Oh, no. It sounds to me like she's married to a know-it-all, and good luck.
Oh wow, know-it-all! I didn't get that from the scenario. I don't want to call that a know-it-all.
I mean, it's better to know your risks. Well, then you might as well not live then, because every day you don't know your risks of living. So what are you suggesting then? To live in a bubble and to eat, soup and pudding all day and just hope
possibly
for the best.
For the person,
in your bunker. I mean, life itself is a risk. You wake up and you walk outside your door and you could be hit by a falling roof or something. There's no estimation of all the different risks that you will encounter in life. So if that's your sentiment around why business is bad, well then, you're doomed before you even started. But to me, just that personality type, I don't think lends well for business success. So I think that if she is interested,
there's always that one person in a business or in a company that will tell you, hey, what are the points of failures for this new plan?
Oh, of course, there are always people who will tell you kind of, let's talk through failure before we can ever talk through success. Yeah, but, if you're choosing to it's one thing to show up to a workplace that you didn't hire everyone, but you're starting your own workplace, right? You're starting your own business. As you said earlier, this is your opportunity to make it your own. Why would you choose to have someone like that on staff? Why would you choose to have the Chicken Little if you don't have to have Chicken Little?
But what if Chicken Little is the CEO?
Well, that would be a really poor business decision for me.
But it's a nice chaos kind of thing you can
I mean,
run
again,
rampant.
it depends on the type of insanity you're interested in included in your life.
Yeah.
If you're interested in that madness, then have at it.
Oh, okay.
I know that for me, that's very this idea is stress-inducing. So I'm not for having Chicken Little on my staff.
But if
in a company that I would be starting.
So if your days are, if your days are boring and far and long, maybe you should start a business with somebody like this because it'll make it interesting.
Like a fairyland, you mean? Or like...
Not a fairyland. There's people that are bored every day out of their mind. But if they have their partner like this, they should start a business with them.
I don't even understand how people are bored today.
Yeah, some people have nothing to do, so start a business with somebody to do this.
Me, though, on stuff.
They're really bored.
Because, this idea of boredom is just so abstract for my mind. It's just like, I don't have enough hours to get everything done, and you're sitting here twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah.
And now I'm rhyming. You know what?
Exactly. That's
so what
good.
do you think? She should marry, she should hire Chicken Little?
The whole point, so I'm thinking if she convinces the husband to go into business together, the thing is maybe you can convince him to not be so focused on risk, right? I mean, you're not supposed to change people.
I don't remember the Chicken Little story, but I don't think Chicken Little could be convinced.
I think if you spoke to him for hours on end, the Chicken Little will learn the business, right? Like, I think better
Chicken
change.
Little would just repeat, just on her loop of chicken. So the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
And you give them a loop of why it's not, and then maybe...
And when are we starting the business in these loops that we're embarking upon?
It's all, I mean...
it's a waste of time. It's not efficient.
I mean, you should have a cutoff point, so if it's taking 12 years and they still aren't convinced, then you probably need to stop.
12 years?
Yeah.
Like 12 years of sleep.
Because we know the lucky number 12 is that's too long. Anything that goes beyond that is too long.
I thought you would say 12, maybe months, Khalil. 12 years?
Yeah, if you're trying to convince someone for 12 years.
Life is precious. You have no guarantee you're going to be here for the next 12 minutes.
Yeah, but what if you only spend a minute each day to doing it? A minute convincing the person every day for 12 years. That's not that much time wasted.
You're better off getting a divorce than doing this exercise. Yeah.
Oh, you don't think that's worth it? So don't.
Ain't nobody got time for this nonsense.
But
first of all, you need to question why you're married to Chicken Little. This is a little bit different now.
Oh, because this person keeps you safe because they're always thinking of the risk. They're
so you're in your bunker together.
Yeah, they have an underground bunker ready just in case. They have the
and they're
storage.
drinking that powdered milk too. Right?
No, they're not drinking it, but they have a couple of them in there, and they have to recycle and take it out because it goes bad.
We all live so different. It's so fascinating.
We all do, though, right?
It is. I don't know. God bless you all.
That's good though. That those people that do that, they're ready for the apocalypse.
I know. I'm not.
Never comes. So,
and I'm not ready for Chicken Little or the apocalypse. So.
Because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's how some people think, right?
Shoot first, greet you later.
I mean, it's a different world, so that's what happens.
It's a different world.
I don't know the theme.
Okay.
I don't know.
You never watched the show?
Yeah. No, I've seen parts of it, though. I just never watched it truly I haven't watched it fully through. So, I think it could work because maybe that'll help your relationship, the convincing. But as long as you can't go, like I said, don't go past 12 years of convincing. You got to have a cutoff for it. So
I completely disagree with that.
What do you? You think the cutoff is a year for convincing?
I mean,
somebody.
Really, I would say like 6 months. And at that point, if the person
that's
is
it.
not,
even if you only spend a minute a day, that's still
because, like I said, because life is so precious, and you don't know you could die in the next 12 years. To spend time wasting trying to convince somebody, no, go on and start your business. Find other people to get in business with if you feel like you can't do it by yourself. But to spend with Chicken Little that long, it just sounds dreadful.
Maybe that'll change their hearts from hearing you say this.
No. Well, again, I'm not a tolerant person enough for that. So
I know you wouldn't be able to do that at all.
Yeah, that's not for me. You're either on this train or we are not on this train together. It is your choice. But life is not about me. Yeah, I think you need to figure out what your happiness is, and your partner needs to be a part of that. And if this business is a part of your happiness, then go forth and be bold and do it freely and unrestricted.
without your partner even.
I think so. If
Ouch.
well, especially if your partner's Chicken Little, I think that's really challenging.
I know, that's interesting. You don't think the people can change their hearts about maybe this will help us?
I guess I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in people being at where I'm at, and if you can't be where I'm at, and we have, again, 3 to 6 months of conversation, and you're still challenged in moving to step 1, then maybe you don't need to get to step 1 with me, and I can do that with someone else, or I can do it by myself.
Someone else? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's a business relationship. It doesn't mean it's opening up the door to other things. I mean, unless that's where you're going with it, and that's a different conversation.
Because what if they were starting in like a video camera service together?
You know what, Khalil?
I said video. You don't know what they do on the video.
Yeah, I know what you're suggesting.
And I didn't mention I didn't mention a popular website or anything.
I know what you're suggesting.
I'm just saying. Yes. That's why you have to take the 12 years to convince them, because you don't want to do this with somebody else, because that could be the end of the relationship.
Well, like I said, the train must move.
No, this train. No.
The train.
No, there's no trains involved in this video
train
service.
Is involved here. So.
No trains for the video service. That's not good.
No.
That's why I said you can't do that. That's not what their video service is about. So it's not. Yeah, you're not going there.
Oh goodness! Any other advice, or you're good on that?
Well, I told you my advice is that she should try, because if it's something that she really wants to do, and
take 12 years to do it.
That's your cutoff, though. I mean, if you go over 12 years, you're wasting time.
At that point.
Yeah, then we know. And then you can say,
as according to Prophet Khalil.
But there's a good thing.
Good book, yeah.
But what's good is you can look back and say, I wasted 12 years trying to convince you for nothing.
Exactly. You're lucky you stay married for 12 years. I can't even with these people.
What if they become convinced during that 12-year time period, then it was worth it.
You'd be better off waiting.
I know you say it's not worth it.
The plagues from the Bible to happen. So, no.
Oh, wow.
You'd be the locusts are likely to come first. So
what about grasshoppers? I don't know.
I'm not the best on biblical references, so I'd have to look back in the book.
Oh, okay.
But with that, we are thankfully at that time again. It is coming to the end of our 299th episode of Woke and Free. Quite the episode, asking the question if you should get into or start a business with your partner or significant other, however you want to frame that person or people in your life. Always got to be inclusive, y'all. Always. So, Khalil, what do folks have to do now?
Come back next week for the new Woke and Free Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow on the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woke and Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
And if you are interested in sharing a topic or think that there are things that we should be talking about on the show, love to hear from you on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. And on social, you can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at Woke and Free. And all sponsorship and collaboration queries, best place to contact us is, again, our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Till next time.